Hi. Today we're going to speak about 3D modeling techniques and ways to start a model. Okay, the first method you can use to make a model is to use splines here. So here you can make any shape you want. Sorry. Let's say this, and then you go here and add an extrude modifier with thickness, and now you have a 3D object. This way is very helpful if you, for example, want to make something that you know that the side of it has a profile. Maybe that's a chair. So let's make something like the chair here. You can use the tools of splines that are for smoothing edges. If you go here, it has vertices, segments, and splines. Vertices are these points here, and you can do a lot of stuff with them. If, for example, you go here and press right click and choose Bezier corner, you can modify each side of the line how you want it to be. I want it to follow a smooth line here. If you select Bezier here like this, sorry, not all of them, you select Bezier here, then if you move this, the other one moves in the opposite side. So you have always a smooth transition. But if you select corner, it makes it a corner here. If I do this a corner as well, you will see here that that's corner vertices. Corner vertices are for the edges of the sides of it, for example, this chair. So let's make this Bezier corner, and also let's use the smooth. Has also smooth here. Smooth doesn't have handles here, but it's always going to appear as smooth here. Okay. So now, if I select extrude, this is one side of the chair, and this is the other side of the chair. I know that this doesn't seem a chair right now, but if you, for example, go again the top viewport and make a rectangle here, something like this, and put an edit spline. You can edit all these lines with the edit spline modifier. Put this here and add an extrude modifier. So now, if I do this with Alt from the keyboard and dragging down in this slider here, you can go small steps. If you don't press Alt, it will move much faster. So now this is the back. You can also use rectangle for this here. In reality, chairs are multiple pieces stuck together most of the times, and usually in a 45-degree angle here. So this here would probably be like, oh, that's a great example to use to see how we can start with a spline and a shape, and then continue with techniques of the other types of modeling that are edit poly. Here you can add an edit poly, and now edit poly basically has options to treat this as an object, not as a line. So you have more selections here. You have the vertices, vertex for these ones, edges for this, border, we will speak about this later, polygons, and elements, it's the whole piece. Okay, so now we want to make it this like a 45 degree somewhere here. I know I'm not very, it's a pretty draft here. Let's move this here, and again, it's a nice excuse to learn more things here. If I press this here, we also have a vertex here. When you convert it to an edit poly, it adds automatically vertices here. Okay, so now we have this fit here. Basically, we had to do this as an instance, not a copy. So every time I change one part here, the other one changes as well. So now if I change this, for example, the other one changes as well. And the same for this thing here. So now we have the feet, and let's make the back. Again, you can make the back, the line, like this, and we can make a solid back. A little unusual viewport to start the chair, so I'm going to rotate this. So when I press top viewport, we see it from the top. Okay. Okay, I don't know what kind of this chair is. Okay. Let's take this and put this here. Yeah. Yeah. The great thing about shapes is now that you can very easily let's see if this works. Go to this line here, and maybe we decide to have a hole here. Let's say hole here. Okay. Make sure it's in the same. Now they're apart, you see here. Okay, let's press align with this line here. So this selected line, we will align it to this line. So if I press this, I want to align it in the y-axis. So I press Y, center to center. And now we go here to the line and press a touch. So now this is a shape, you see here, because it's instance, the same applies here. And when I press extrude, when I open the extrude, here you can disable or enable the modifiers. Now it's closed, the eye. It's like a closed eye, and this is an open eye. So now it's enabled. So now very easily we have a hole here. To do this with other methods is much more difficult to do. And let's open the edit poly. Oh, it worked. Okay, that's the good thing about the splines and extrude method. I will show you more examples of how this can be used. And then you have to finish this off with a chamfer modifier. You have to be careful with the values. And you see this here? This will go away if we go here and do this. And maybe change some values. Add more. Yeah, it doesn't go away exactly. To fix this, you have to go to the edit poly modifier. This button here shows you what the geometry will look like if all the modifiers until the top was enabled. If you press this, it shows you what all these modifiers, how all these modifiers affect the geometry, not this. If I press this, it also shows you this as well. Okay, so let's press this so we can see here and see if the error, sorry, not yet. Let's press F3. Yeah, you see all these lines here. This should be connected with basically all of them, but I know it's pretty hard to do, but connect as much as you can. Sorry, make sure that when you go here, this is a small cross, so it will start from the vertex here. If you see this cross with a square in the middle, this is going to put a vertex in the polygon. We don't need that. We want to go from a vertex to an edge. This is the edge. If you see, the icon changes, a big cross. And let's go further to here. Okay, let's see if this fixes the things. Yeah, it fixed it a bit. Oh, that's why. Yeah, that's why it happened, I think. Yeah, you see? Because when you overdo this, the geometry overlaps and makes this black shapes, so don't overdo it. Let's go somewhere here. But if you want to... No, don't overdo this. This was a very sharp corner. You can copy this modifier now. Copy, paste. Here you can overdo it because it doesn't have any big... Yeah, it's pretty rough. This is a pretty rough chair. This is not how I would make a chair, but just to prove a point. And also here. Very basic stuff. So we have a chair now with no seat on it. Let's make a seat with another tool now. With a box. Okay, let's go to the top viewport. Let's make a box. In chairs, most of the times, it always goes out a bit. Now we created a box. If we put an edit poly modifier, now we started this model with not a shape, but from the start with a geometry, like a box that has sides, polygons, vertices, and edges. Okay. So now we put the edit poly modifier so we can modify it. That's why it's called modifiers. And maybe put it out a bit here and here, and maybe make it follow the back a bit. Okay, so now what we can do to make this a little more organic is to put this here, put this here, put this here, and then press this and press ring. Now it selects all the edges around the object. So now we can press connect to have something in between. Make it a little bit like a curved surface. I know it's not curved because it's corners here, not smooth, but you will see where I'm getting it, where I'm going with this. Let's go with this. Okay. Yeah. And let's put a turbo smooth to see what happens. Now, turbo smooth makes a perfect round pillow. This happens for a reason. Turbo smooth always is trying to smooth out 3 edges. So you try to smooth this edge, but starting from this and ending to this. So that's why it's going to be a circle like this, because it starts smoothing from here to here. The same for this. It starts smooth from here to here. The same from all the sides. It starts to smooth from here to here. That's why it's a circle here again. Okay? To avoid this, we can put some lines that are keeping the shape of how we want it to be. How we make those lines? We select with a left click and rectangle selection all these edges and put a connect amplifier with 2 edges and press this to make them go until somewhere in the end. To see what's going on here, if I put this, it's more like the circle you saw before, but if I press this, it tries to keep the shape of the corners how you want it to be. Okay? Let's do the same with this side. Connect this little box here. Yeah, let's see how this is looking. Much better. A little too sharp. So to make it less sharp, we can press one of the edges here, press loop, and move this. Also this. Let's see how this looks now. Much better. Okay? And now let's move this polygon a little bit up. And now we have a smooth pillow for our seat. Okay? This is a chair. If we want to make also this side and the bottom to be more sharp, you can do this by I'm switching between showing the edges with F4 from the keyboard, F4, and F3 is seeing it like a wireframe, like this. Okay, so I press one of the edges here, ring, and connect, but not with 2 now, because we don't want to make it sharp here. We want to make it sharp only at the bottom. We right click on this to make it 0, and we use this now to move it. There. Now we have a sharp edge at the bottom. Okay? This is a pretty simple chair. Another good useful thing to do with shapes and work with shapes is to, for example, you want to make something like an architectural element. So if I go to the front viewport and let's say we want to make this, it has very nice shapes here. It has, for example, this arc tool. This arc tool lets you click, and without letting your left click, you go to the other side with the snap tool. With this snap tool, open, and then you can make this arc here. And if we go here and put an edit spline, because it's a spline, and attach this, and delete this line, and weld these vertices, because now they're not welded together. We have to weld them, and also this, because these were two shapes. Okay, always remember that if there are multiple shapes that interact with each other, then you probably need to weld. If you had this line here, it could not weld them. You have to delete this line here. So now we have extrude here. We can do this, but this is not very surprising. The surprising thing is that now you can go to the spline tool here and put an outline very easily. So now we have this. Another useful thing that splines have is that if, for example, I want to make something like this here to interact with this, and go here with edit spline, attach this very easily, we can trim edges and splines with this tool here, trim. We can trim this. Now, sorry, let's also trim this and this, trim this and this. Take this with control. You can select multiple edges. Yeah, let's take the spline, sorry. Put an outline here. Let's delete this. Yeah, something useful I want to show you here is that we can make it to go right where this vertex is. You can use this tool, but you can lock this tool, the snap tool, only to the x-axis, so it doesn't move everywhere, by pressing this button here. Now, sorry, X button here. So, where is it? Yeah. Now it moves only in this direction, but you can snap here because it will not move in the y-axis. It will only move in the x-axis until it meets this point here. So now this is aligned with this. Okay? And now we can snap this vertex here, snap this vertex here, weld them together. Delete this. Also applies for the other axis as well. If you just click on the axis you want, it locks that axis. Okay? Weld, and let's extrude. So if this happens and the extrude does not work correctly, something is not welded, probably, or something is interfering with something else. Let's figure out what's happening. Okay, yeah, if you press spline, it should select the whole spline here. Now it stops here and here. That tells me that this vertex here is not welded. See? And also this vertex here is not welded. And probably this as well. So with control we select all these and weld them. Now we have this. To make this with another method would be very difficult. At any time you can come here and put more stuff inside here. Let's try and add a circle. What would happen? Let's see. I don't know what's going to happen, to tell you the truth. Yeah, it also extruded the circle here. Very useful tool. With this you can make, for example, stuff like letters, but maybe you want to print those letters with a 3D printer and you want the inside to be another color. Okay, so what do you do here? You go here and go and add an edit spline modifier. Take all this, doesn't work every time, and make an outline here. Make sure that nothing is interfering. Here it interferes. That's going to cause a problem. Okay, let's modify this a bit. And now, you see this? This is because this is interfering with this edge here. Nothing, everything needs to be apart to work. Okay, so now we have this, but if we press a clone and make this as a copy, now we can go to this one, hide it, yeah, and select all the exterior parts. This is the interior, this is the exterior. Extrude it. Oops, something happened here. Yeah, forgot to delete this. Yeah, and unhide all. So now this is another color and the outside is another color. Very useful. For architectural also, for architectural renderings, maybe you want to make a sign that's black at the outside and glowing in the inside. Now, let's also another useful technique with splines is how to make bottles, vases, table feet and stuff like that. You can take, for example, a line here, start with a profile that goes like this, like this, like this. Yeah. And put a length modifier here. Press max or min. This time was the min here, and now we have something like glass. I know it's not smooth, so we can use the techniques I showed you earlier and make all of these Bezier, probably. Yeah, it's very nice to see this in real time, how it affects the geometry. Let's press this and this tool here. And from the lathe modifier, you can control how many steps you want it to be to make it more smooth. And then you can put a cell modifier to make this have thickness inside or outside. You can put also inside here like this. So now we have a glass. Let's say we want to make a table feet. We can do this again. Let's start with it like this. Let's say something like this. And put the lathe modifier again. Yeah, okay. Doesn't look like a table feet. Exactly. Usually we have to put an image behind here and try to follow this image and put vertices where everything that has a shape like this has a shape like this. So yeah, so this, make this maybe smooth. Come on, smooth. Make also this smooth, and make this a Bezier corner because I like this corner here, but I wanted to have, you can zoom in to select it better. Yeah, and make this smooth, and you can increase how much this is here like this. Okay, to avoid this you can go here and put weld core. Okay, from the bottom, okay, I forgot to make a line here like this, so you can anytime go to create line, snap here and here, make sure it's in the same plane, in the same line here, and now, oh yeah, sorry, don't forget the weld. Yeah, if this happens and it's black, you have to press this, flip normals, and you can see in real time, if I move this in this axis, it will close this hole. Oh, now it needs flip normals again, sorry. I don't know what's happening here. Yeah, never mind, it's from the bottom. Okay, now this is a feet, a chair feet. But let's say I wanted to make something like a rectangular column over an ancient temple. Okay, you can do a trick here and put 4 sides here. Yeah, and now this is more like a rectangle than a circle. And if you put smooth on top, not turbo smooth, smooth, and press auto smooth, it corrects the details here. And maybe add a chamfer. Let's see. Yeah, to make these edges a little more smooth. Now we have a rectangle, but you have to rotate it 45 degrees with this snap, angle snap here. You see, as I rotate it, it shows you how many degrees, how many degrees does it rotate. We need 45. So now we have this. This is also good for railings, for stair railings as well. For stairs, let's say we want to make a stair. Very quick stair. Now, instead of putting a chamfer here, you can do something else that the shapes have. Is go here in the vertices, all these vertices here, and use the chamfer here. Press chamfer and go here. Oh no, not chamfer, sorry, fillet. Fillet is a smooth one. And do this. So now if I extrude, I have chamfer corners here. Not here, but here. If I put also chamfer, it will not work very well. I think. Yeah, because it tries to also... it kind of worked, but... yeah, has some errors here in geometry, but okay. It's nice. This is a very quick way to make. Also, another thing you can use this is to make a floor plan, for example. Very easily. You can go here, here, here. Let's make this here, here. Okay, this is a house. Okay. Okay. So now go spline here, put an outline. Make an extrude. So now we have the walls of the house here. And if you want to make doors of this, you can put an edit poly modifier on top. Sorry, not a mess. Edit poly. And make connects here. Usually, the top of the windows and the top of the doors in the same height, to 220 centimeters or 2.2 meters. But now we're not in scale, so I'm going to put it by eye. Put one here and make this go somewhere here. Okay, and then we make one more line for the bottom of the windows, somewhere here. Let's make the windows now. Connect. This is a pretty mixed tutorial and a little chaotic. I hope this is useful. So now, how do we make the openings? We select this polygon here and this polygon here. Edit poly has a nice button here that says bridge. You press bridge and now you have the opening. Here we select 2 polygons from this side and 2 polygons from this side. Bridge. The problem is that this is a little angled now. Don't worry. You can go to the top viewport. Actually, I make walls not with a line. I make them with directly from a box. I will show you another time. This is a pretty rough technique to make walls. Okay. Yeah, here. So we have the openings, and here let's delete this polygon here. We have a door and a window. Now, a perfect excuse again to make use of the edit poly. What else you can do? So let's go here. Take a box. Press the snap modifier here. You have to right click and make sure it has a vertex here on. Okay. and you can create directly geometry on top of the other geometry. How do you do that? With the box tool, you press once, you don't lift the mouse, you don't unclick the mouse yet, until you reach the other point. Then you unclick, you release the click, sorry, and then it allows you to go on the top to extend its height until you reach the other point, and then you click again. You click the left mouse button, okay? And now we have a box like this. In fact, we can make it a little bigger. I will show you why. Put it a little bit outside, there and there. Okay, now let's put edit poly modifier. You put edit poly modifier to geometry and edit spline modifier to shapes. Okay, you press those two and press insert. This creates this profile. Okay, and now you select again bridge. See? Now we have a profile. If you clone this to make a copy, then you can go here very roughly. Let's change this color to something else so we can see it better. And from the top viewport, make it a little smaller. Because that's how windows are. They're smaller here, see? And now we have a window profile. So, we have shapes and we have geometry. This is the two main methods to create something. And there's a combination to start something with a shape and then go to edit poly. What we can create with directly with shapes. Okay. Sorry, before I go to the geometry, let's make use of something else that shapes have. Let's say we want to make a faucet, kitchen faucet. Okay, create this, and this. Okay, make this as smooth, not smooth. Sorry. Let's make this a bezier corner. Yeah. There's a hidden tool here in the rendering, enabling viewport and enable in renderer. This gives geometry to the shapes and make it 3D. Very, very useful. I use it all the time. And now we have a faucet. See? You can select how many sides you want to make it smoother. And also, another thing that affects the smoothness, because if you see here, it's a little bit, you see how it is? A little bit, the polygons are visible. This is handled from, where is it? Interpolation. You have to put more interpolation. Don't overdo it, because that adds a lot. But it's much better now. And you can in real time see the effects. Again, to make something like this, you need to place an image behind this so you can follow it. Okay? And then, as always, you can put an edit poly modifier, select this polygon here, put inset, extrude extrude is very nice too, like this. And you can always put a chamfer modifier. Now we have a faucet. You can also start with another shape, like an eagle, for example. Make sure this is not enabled. Okay. Radish here. And put an extrude. Oh god, sorry. Like this here. And put chamfer here. And you have the mixer, I don't know how it's called, the thing you rotate to make the water go out. So yeah. You can also start with a circle here. Extrude. I will make this with a shape. And also I will make this directly with the killing there. That's 3D from the start. Without extrude. But with lines we can do this. For example, if we don't need this, we want something like this. Sorry. With shape you can do something like this. Also put a fillet here. Yeah. Very, very useful again. Okay, now let's do something else. Let's try to make a guitar out of a box. Okay, yeah. To make this, you start with a box and put an edit poly modifier. This applies to everything. You have to analyze a shape in its basic functions. Let's see something here. Sorry. Guitar. Okay, I found this guitar here. Okay, if you see here, you have to analyze it in where the curves are. We have one curve here, one curve here, and one not curve to the point of the curve here and here. I'm talking about this only, not this. Okay, so we'll put one here in the middle and one here somewhere over here. Okay, and then we try to mimic the curves as much as we can. This doesn't look like a guitar right now, but you will see. Let's add one more connect here. And try to make this work. It's not the best way to start a guitar, but it's a nice practice. And you gradually add more connect. You can move this here. Always think, put the most curved part of the object you want to make, and then add the in between. And modify them. So I added this in between, and you modify them to make it more like a curve here. See? Also here, you can use the scale tool in the x-axis to make this faster. And now we have something like looks like a guitar. And if you put the turbo smooth, it makes it smooth like this. Okay? But it's very, very smooth. So again, if you remember what we did earlier, to control how smooth the geometry is, because now it starts smooth from here to here. So this goes very circular here. Press this, ring, connect, two parts here, go this to the edge, and turbo smooth. Much better. Basically, I like it. It's a pretty basic shape of a guitar. Now, the hole here is the most difficult thing to do with this way. We usually do this by selecting one vertex here, no, the best way to do it is go to the shapes, to the Nigon, and draw Nigon somewhere here. Not a circle, Nigon. This plays a huge role here. And go to the edit poly. And now we're going to make a trick. We're going to press the cut tool. We're going to press the 3D snap, this one. No matter if it's at the bottom side, doesn't matter. Because it's a 3D snap, it snaps wherever it finds vertices. And do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then, sorry, we delete these polygons here. So now we have this. That's not very good now. To fix this, Edit Poly has a trick. Not a trick. Needs some kind of specifications for the turbo smooth to work. Every polygon must have 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it can have 3, but we always try to have 4. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a problem. To usually fix this, we go to a corner and do this. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fixed. We go here and do this the same. here do this the same, and here do this. Okay, we forgot something here. Yeah, I missed something here. You can target weld, select the first vertex and go to the second and weld them together. So now we have a hole. Not a perfect hole, but okay, it does the work. I think this is the problem, why this is happening. Let's see if this fixes. No, we had to start with a Nigon with more sides to make this better. That's why it happened. But I think we can this here. What happened here again? I don't know. Maybe I press undo. Okay, we have something like a hole. Not a perfect hole, but okay. This is one way to do it. The other way to do it is with, again, splines. You start here, here. Yeah, you can do basically the same thing. Make it all corners, like this, like this, like this, like this. More like a electric guitar or a bass. Okay. And now you can press smooth here. Make this as a brassiere. All of this brassiere as well. So this time I'm gonna extrude one time, make this very, very, very thin. We have the bottom part of the guitar. This is actually how guitars are made. They're different parts, I think, most of the time. Make this here, but now you can do the trick here. Remember how difficult the circle was here to do? Well, now you can very, very easily put a circle here. Make sure this is aligned to the top spline in the Z axis. You see here, it says Z, center to center, and then we touch this here and have this hole right away. And now for the sides, you select this, clone, copy. Okay? You select copy and then go here to the spline and make an outline. Now you see we have this shape now. It has an outline. Press extrude, and now it's the sides of the guitar. To be absolutely not absolutely more accurate, you can make this thinner and press this and press align this to this in the Z axis, the minimum part, the bottom part, to touch the top part of the bottom side. So now if we see it from here, see, this is the bottom part and this is the top part. We aligned the bottom part of this geometry to the top part of this geometry. can also make this thinner and press link this to now the opposite, the not the opposite, the same, yeah. The minimum part, the bottom part, goes to the maximum part. So now we have a guitar. The only thing we don't have here, let's make this another color so don't be confused. Yeah, see, this is a hole here. Is that we don't have the smoothness here, but it's okay. We made a guitar much faster this way. You can also make it, sorry, yeah, somewhere here. You can also go crazy now and go here and put stuff like, no, now we can do shapes. Has a skeleton inside, something like this. With Shift selected, with Shift from the keyboard pressed, you can anytime create a copy of the object by rotating as well. So with one move you have two functions. One is a copy of a geometry you had selected, and the second function is that you also rotate it. This applies to the move as well. If you press the Y-axis here and press Shift from the keyboard, you make a copy in that axis, and you do two functions as well. Again, one that is a copy, and secondly a move. Okay, so now we hide all. Sorry, you see the skeleton inside there. I know it's not very accurate, but okay. I think this is a pretty, not very advanced, pretty basic stuff of splines and geometry and what you can do with them. You can do a lot more. Basically, you can start everything from a box and also from a line. It's how you choose to model. There is no right way to do it. There is an easier way always to do a specific kind of geometry of an object. Yeah, certainly there's an easier way to do everything. For example, this guitar was easier to do with a line than with a box and turbo smooth. Try to think that every object that has looks more organic, like a face, like a sofa cushion, it's probably best to do it with start with a box and a geometry, 3D shape, and then put edit poly and turbo smooth. And everything that is more like more straight and easy to extrude, to make it with a line. For example, this fit here. If you remember, it was easier. And also, if you want to put a lot of stuff inside, like holes and other features, again, line is best for that. That's it. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments if you really liked it and if you have any questions. I will be glad to answer them. Bye bye.